Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here. First and foremost, you're not going to be seeing anything very much visually in the background or anything like that. There's a lot of stuff going on currently, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit, and my thoughts on the whole thing. And I'm on my hunter because I was doing a little bit of bounty stacking, not necessarily a massive big deal. That being said, I will go ahead and integrate some of this with my personal prep for the final shape and video plans and that sort of stuff. But yeah, so big giant news is that apparently some issue happened on Sony's end and some people were able to access the final shape early and they could see everything from like raid weapons. There's some tales of people that have gotten into the raid. However, it's not been confirmed. I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. I'm not going to be discussing anything specific. So, nothing like that. As far as exotic weapons and armor, some things that, other YouTubers have made about, I will not be discussing that here. Again, I'm just going to be sticking to what Bungie has given us. However, the exotic weapons that have already been shown in like TWABs and TWIDs and armors, that is completely fair game. And I guess some people were able to play the campaign. Stay away from Twitter. Here on this channel, we will not be discussing anything. Zip, zap, nada. We're going to keep everything as spoiler-free as possible. And we're going to stick it to news that Bungie has released themselves directly. The only exceptions to this will be the 3 exotic armor pieces that they showed pictures of but gave no descriptions for. Those will be the only exceptions to that. Everything else, I will not be discussing activities. I will not really be discussing destinations either, besides the fact that, well, you're going to be solo for the in-patrol spaces. That's it. That is it. Nothing else. Not zip, zada, nothing. Some people are discussing that, they should just release the final shape early. I disagree with this. Because, for one, you have people that have taken time off for the release of the final shape. I did not, because the raid date is way too close. So I took time off for the raid, not for the expansion itself. Also, something to keep in mind that a lot of people are not considering. If Bungie plans on releasing the final shape a little bit early, they would have to have that 24-hour maintenance earlier, which will screw over a lot of people's prep time. Not myself, but I do. Yeah, but not myself. I am pretty much all geared up for the final shape, basically. I do have a couple of loadouts that need to change. I need to make a prismatic save. I free up a loadout slot for prismatic. As far as the plan for, kind of going forward, I'm going under the assumption that final shape is releasing on Tuesday. Also, a very massive side note, I have heard discussions of Elden Ring DLC also being leaked. I'm not looking at anything for that. I am not looking at, like, absolutely zero for that. Because here's my stance on leaks in general, right? For Destiny 2, raid mechanics being leaked is an absolute no-go. Absolute no-go. You are a piece of shit. I'm assuming, like, enough time as videos in the past for this not to get age restricted so I can fucking swear, but if you leak raid mechanics, you're a piece of shit. Also, if I see comments, leaking anything, I will nuke them. Personally, if I get notifications for them. The current plan is I will only be releasing 3 videos between now and the final shape, this being one of them, so there's that, but the other 2 videos I plan on releasing are a build, like some tentative builds that I plan on bringing into the final shape, and also what I plan on using for prismatic. Both of those will be for Titan for the most part. Warlocks, I'll have some notes for you, and same with Hunters. But I gotta be honest, Hunters, your exotics kind of suck this time. They seem to be very PvP focused, so there's not really much, but for Warlocks you have 2 decent exotics, but I'm mostly going to be focusing on Titan, because I am a Titan main. I plan on bringing my Titan into the final shape. And of course I gotta work on my fashion, get that fashion up. But So yeah, if I see anything, if I get notifications for it, I will nuke it. I don't play that. I do not play that. And not necessarily just for my own sake, but for the sake of other people that are not, really on Twitter or anything, and they don't really want to be spoiled. So we're gonna keep this spoiler free. Some YouTubers are already fucking going ham on the leaks and shit, and I'm just like, bruh. Like when Dado, as the Cross, Fallout Players, when all of them released their videos on like the weapons and stuff, that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Bungie released their embargo and said, hey, you can release these videos, you're good to release them. But this is massive. And for Elden Ring DLC, if it indeed got leaked, that's massive. That's massive. I highly doubt, because most of the time, there tends to be a little bit more obscure methods to reach the DLC, so I'm kind of assuming that no one's actually really played much of the DLC, if at all. But man, From Software games really heavily rely on the sort of surprise of what's found in the DLC. Like, Slave Knight Gale being so good and everything is from the build-up of the surprise and a little bit of the story thing. And Sister Fried is so remembered because of the surprise of that fourth phase, where they bait you into thinking the fight is over, but it's not. Of a Bloodborne, you do not expect to see Ludwig. You do not expect to see Lady Maria and Lawrence. He's just there at the beginning, but you can't find him until a little bit later, and that's a surprise. To me, Old Hunter's DLC is the best. It's what makes Bloodborne so good. If both DLCs in Dark Souls 3 were together and one, it would be number one, but because they're separate, But, like Destiny 2. So, plans for Destiny 2, again, if any leaks are in the comments, I will nuke them. So, we're going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. Tomorrow, which is Friday, you'll be getting at least one video. It's going to be a giga video of every piece of news covering the TWAB, covering the previous TWABs and Dev Insight articles. It will be a pretty quick skim through. I will be pointing out important notes and that sort of thing to try to make it too long, because Bungie has released a crap ton of information, but that video will be a consolidated video for y'all to see all of that good information. And also that's where I'll be posting any updates as far as if Bungie says anything about the whole Final Shape thing. Either Saturday, you could get, I might put it out Friday, but probably Saturday. I'll be posting a video about my personal builds that I'm taking into the Final Shape. That's when that will be. I will not be posting a video on anything I'm taking into the Day 1 raid. It's just too little time. Like, once Final Shape releases, because I work when, I have to leave for work when Final Shape releases. The next day, I gotta work on prepping myself. But, last bit of note, in terms of prep, what do you need to do? In terms of bounties, get a bunch of XP double plus bounties done. I have a page and a half on my Titan. I have a little bit more than a full page on Warlock, and Hunter only have half, but this is a brand spanking new character. Like, I don't even have Beyond Light done or anything done, like, really. So, as you can see, with the absurd amount of fucking icons for milestones, so that is something of note. But also, some people might forget, this weekend from Xur, do your Exotic Cipher quest. You will really want to do that Exotic Cipher quest for the extra Exotic Cipher, so you can artifice more exotic armor, especially when planning on doing Day 1 raiding and that sort of stuff. Really want that exotic armor to be artifice. It gives a little bit more wiggle room in terms of stats, which is why I like them so much. And for certain builds that I have, some of my stats are at 95 or 96 or whatever, and if I would have one extra cipher slot, I could have moved things around a little bit better. So, do keep in mind, get that extra exotic cipher. You don't need 30 Ascendant alloys. About 20 should be good. If the destination weapons are craftable, I think you will be fine with having about 20 Ascendant alloys. This will also maybe carry you through the raid as well in terms of enhancements. But if you plan on trying to grind out all of the red borders, I'd definitely kick this up to 30. For Ascendant Shards, about 20 is good. About 20 is good. You do want about 5 exotic engrams, though. At least 5 exotic engrams on all characters. Currently, I have 8 on Titan. I have 6 or 7 on Warlock. But I would suggest if you see those new exotic armor pieces and you're like, hey, I want this exotic armor piece very quickly, get a bunch of exotic engrams on that character. Like for Titan, the reason why I have 8, because I saw those arms and that chest piece, and especially those arms look so cool. But that chest piece and the arms, I really want both of them. So make sure I have those exotic engrams so that I can unlock one of them and focus for it, for a better roll of it. Do keep in mind, Master Lost sectors are probably... Legend might be viable before the raid, but keep in mind that usually they're beefed up, so we don't know how easy it's gonna, how we're gonna end at the Legend campaign, so which we will be doing. I'm hoping Psycho will be available so we can duo it. From what I've heard, doing it with 3 people is too easy. Like, from what, at least based on what I can tell from Dado, at least on Titan, Prismatic is very broken with multiple of them, so gonna try to do it too. I don't really like running Legend campaigns with 3 people, so I think 2 will work. But on that note, that's all the news. Again, a quick recap of everything. Stay off of Twitter. You are kind of safe to go on the Destiny 2 subreddit. The mods have already said that they are deleting everything. They're like, if anything, spoiler, they are nuking it. For me, I'm going to nuke everything if it's spoiler. Story-related spoilers, obviously, and raid gear spoiler. I have not seen the raid armor. Also, Icon, thankfully, raid armor, and like even Ghost of the Deep armor, isn't necessarily affected by icons. Like, you can't see that the icons for Root of Nightmares, not Root of Nightmares, Vow of the Disciple, you can't tell the armor piece moves to the icons. That being said, though, again, I'm going to be nuking things. They are. I'm going to keep everything. You're safe on this channel. No story spoilers whatsoever. Of course, this gets rid of it when I start playing the campaign, obviously, because I'll be experiencing the story with y'all. I'm going to kind of stay away from everything currently. Besides, I'm also following other things. I'm following Stellar Blade pretty closely to see what's going on with that. But, again, tomorrow, you will be getting the general condensed information for everything. And then for either tomorrow or Saturday, you'll be getting my builds, taking into the final shape what I plan on using for Prismatic. I haven't figured out what exotic armor I want to use, but I have figured out what weapon I want to use. But on that note, thanks for tuning in, stay safe out there, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.